Glory to God. Isn't it wonderful to talk about money and God in the same space? I am just so incredibly honored to be here with you this afternoon. I really want to recognize Lois and Brian Kayongo. What an idea. Let me tell you, when I was told about the concept, and I'll tell you who told me about it in a minute, I thought to myself, my heart leapt. When I heard Bible meets business, my heart leapt because it just resonated with me, because I'm clear on this one thing, that we believers cannot take dominion until we understand business, money, and systems. I want to really honor the grace upon Apostle Grace, that he would be a man who recognizes and who not just recognizes, speaks about and encourages believers to understand business, because that is the way. Financial freedom, true freedom comes from financial empowerment and business empowerment. So thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause to this team? I want to honor all the men of God, pastors, clergy. The mayor of South Lake was here. All protocols observed. And you, DFW Kingdom men and women, happy Easter. I want to teach you a principle. And that principle is called a sponsor. Say a sponsor. Let me tell you something. I didn't know about Bible Meets Business until a week ago. And how I knew about it is because of one lady, Miss Julianne. And I would not have known about it hadn't she pulled me to the side and said, Catherine, there's something incredible happening in the city of South Lake, and I want you to be a part of it. Let me tell you something. Even Jesus had to be introduced by somebody called John the Baptist. Can I submit to you that somebody has to speak your name? There are places that you will not enter. There are doors there are levels you're not going to get to until somebody speaks your name. So thank you so much, Julian. And so I want you to hold on to that concept, because can I submit to you, your next professional level, your next business level requires that somebody speaks your name. But can I submit to you, you don't court this person. They need to observe you in your authentic self. They need to observe you doing the whom. They need to observe you being that person. And as they observe you, God speaks to them and says, you know what? This person fits here, this person fits here. So keep in mind, that's a takeaway, all right? A sponsor, all right? So I want to honor my husband, Mr. G. Franklin. Please stand up. This man, I've been with this man since I was 25 years old. I am 48. I just turned 48. And he is my champion. He's my cheerleader. Let me tell you something. If you're not married and you're an ambitious woman, please marry well, okay? Marry a man who is going to say, keep on going. Even as he goes, he says, you know what, girl, keep on going. So thank you so much. We live in Heath, Texas, and we have 2 boys. And I am incredibly honored to be here with you today. I don't know whether my PowerPoint is going to come up, but even if it doesn't come up, it's okay, all right? So let me pull it up myself on my end. All right, so the reason why Bible Meets Business made my heart leap is because as a 29-year-old girl, I asked God, what am I supposed to do with my life? Why? I had been in college. I was top of my class. I went to work for a company called Accenture. Who knows Accenture is a big, big company? Yes. I left college, went to work for Accenture. And while I was in Accenture, I was like, is this it? I worked so hard just to come, make some money, spend some money, buy some clothes, you know, what girls do. And the Lord, I sought the Lord, and I said, God, I need you to show me my purpose. And this is what he said to me. Catherine, your purpose is to teach kingdom people about money. I was a 29-year-old girl. What did I know about money that much at that time? But you know what? Every vision is for an appointed time. And if you will stay the course, let me tell you something. The season of that vision will come. And I am in that season. And I have been teaching about money. I've been teaching about money mastery to women. I teach business owners. And I tell you, if you're my client, you're going to get taught. You're going to get taught. You're not going to just get some tax return or some financial statements, but you're going to get taught. So my credentials, a lot, but one of the things that I know that God divinely ordered is He allowed me to work for the ultra wealthy in this country in wealth management. And I exited there in 2021 as a tax director of tax and compliance. And I sat in those spaces where they talked about $250 million, exiting businesses at $100 million, global businesses, local businesses. They talked about inheritance. Let me tell you something. The people of the world know how to pass on wealth through the next generation and the next generation, and they use the tax code to make sure it is moving from generation to generation. All right? So today I want to talk about biblical principles of business. Brian came and told us about processes. Right? The processes to get to those multi-million. Now, I want to talk about the financial systems you need in your business to be able to get to those millions. Can I submit to you that without these financial systems, you will not get to the millions? All right? So my job is to teach you financial systems. And we're going to take from a story in the Bible about Joseph. We're not going to talk about the bad part. We're going to talk about the good part, okay? Where his life started turning. And we're going, so Pharaoh had a dream, right? Pharaoh had a dream. And this dream, I won't tell you the dream. You can read it for yourself. But let's talk about the interpretation. And Joseph was called from prison. And he came and interpreted the dream. And what did he say? He said, it means that you're going to have 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of famine. All right? Now, you know what we call that in business? We call it a forecast. We call it forecasting. So Joseph makes this interpretation. And so today I want us to look at those systems and how Joseph enabled Egypt to prosper during the famine. All right? And because those systems are the systems we need in our businesses today so that we can prosper, especially in these tariff moments. All right? Who knows there are tariffs? All right? Who knows the economy is looking a little wobbly? Who knows layoffs are happening? All right? So in these treacherous times, how are we going to prosper? We're going to look at those 7 systems, all right? So the one thing I want you to understand is this. Business systems, finance systems are godly. God is a master system creator. Look at your body. You have the digestive system, the circulation system, the nervous system. So why do you not have financial systems and operating systems in your business? God is a master system creator. So today we're going to talk about 7 systems you need to have in your business. All right? And you're going to move faster because I am moving quick. So the 7 systems you need to have, and I want you to write them down. Number 1 is forecasting. Forecasting. Second system is budgeting. Third system is accounting and bookkeeping. Fourth system is cash flow management. Fifth system is multiple streams of income. Seventh system is investing. And the last is exit strategy. Now, let's talk about forecasting. What did Joseph say? Joseph said there's going to be prosperity and there's going to be famine. That is called a forecast. Let me tell you, there's nothing in this earth that God did not ordain. There's no new knowledge. There's no new wisdom. It's already in the earth. So in business, you learn forecasting, but in the kingdom, it is called discerning the seasons and the times. Do we need some discernment right now? Let me tell you something. You know what the wealthy people were doing as Trump was coming in? You know what they did? Warren Buffett got out of stocks. He's sitting on $300 billion in cash. Mark Zuckerberg, I was listening to him yesterday. He exited all equity positions. When I say equity, I mean stocks. That is called discerning the seasons and the times. Are you doing some discerning and seasons and times in your business? What is coming? What is coming in the next 3, 5, 10 years that you need to prepare for? And how are you going to prepare for it? That is what forecasting is about. It allows you to start assigning. It allows you to start thinking about what you need to do now to prepare for tomorrow. All right? The next system is budgeting. Let's talk about budgeting. What did Joseph do? Joseph said, we're going to start setting aside a fifth of every harvest in the prosperous times. And that fifth is going to do what? Take care of us during famine. And what happened? They had so much grain, they were supplying. So during famine, they were the food supplier of the region, meaning that they were prospering in tough times. Who wants to prosper during a recession? Okay, they're talking about recessions coming. What do you need to do now? How do you need to set up your business now? So that you know what? Do you need to be in what they call necessary businesses? Is your business a necessary business that people are not going to forget about? All right? That people are not going to eliminate from their budget line. All right? That government or whoever you serve, are they going to consume what you serve in a recession? Or do you need to pivot? All right? Now, the third system I want to talk to you about is accounting and bookkeeping. What am I? A CPA, an accountant. That is my training. But can I submit to you? Brian asked, who is $1 million business? Who is $5 million business? Can I submit to you? The most big part of my business is solving business owners' problems. And do you know why business owners have problems? No accounting and bookkeeping. So people come to me and tell me, I am sitting on $4 million in equity, but I can't get a loan because I don't have financial statements. I am sitting here paying too much to the government because I don't have a tax strategy, because I don't have books. So if you're going to tell me, you're going to tell Brian that we're going to come back here as multi-million-dollar businesses, the first thing you need to do today is you need to get an accounting or bookkeeping system. That you need that ASAP. Because can I submit to you, Brian told you, you make decisions on data. You know the most important data in your business is your financial data. Because how do you know that your marketing is working if you're not seeing it in your numbers? You don't know, right? You can have every system, but if it's not reflecting in that sales, you don't know what you're doing. If you're spending too much, you do not have profit. The Bible says, I am the Lord your God who teaches you to do what? Profit. What is profit? Income minus expenses equals profit. Tell me God is not an accountant. God is an accountant. All right? So I'm in the right business. I'm in the God business, y'all. I'm in the God business. Anyway, so accounting and bookkeeping, absolutely critical for you to make business decisions on data. It is some of the data you need to be looking at. And in this day and age, you have so many virtual systems. And if you are a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business, please come talk to me. I'm the best of the best when it comes to accounting, bookkeeping, and taxes. Because you know what? I was working for them very rich people, and I'm ready to bring that knowledge to you. All right? So next thing, cash flow management. Somebody say cash flow management. Because profit is not cash. Profit is not cash. And you have to do cash flow management so that you can survive during the lean times. Because cash flow management requires that you understand fixed costs and variable costs. All right? Because if you have too much fixed cost and you don't have income coming in, guess what? You're going to go bankrupt. All right? So that's why you do accounting and you manage your cash. So cash management looks like I'm setting aside money for taxes. How many people are always paying taxes the year after? How many people have issues with the IRS? You got IRS debt. Okay, that tells me you're not managing your cash properly. So you need to be setting aside money for taxation, money for savings, money for investing, money for reinvesting into your business. setting aside money to pay yourself. All that is part of cash flow management. We're number five. Number five, as you can see, I can move fast, okay? Number five, multiple income streams. Multiple income streams. When you look at the story of Joseph, he started putting in place, exchanging this for that, adding resources. Why do you need multiple income streams? The Bible says, sow your seed in the morning, and in the afternoon, do not what? Do not slacken your hand. Why? Because you do not know which will prosper. That is a principle of multiple streams of income and diversification. So, are you depending on one income stream? Can you imagine? They're talking about Deloitte has lost a lot of business because it was doing a lot of contracts with the government. Do you have one source of income? Is your business tied to one government contract? Is your business tied to one client? You need to diversify. But let me tell you something. Diversification doesn't mean you start a new business. It means look at what you do right now and how can I serve what I do right now to a different customer, a different segment, right? That's what diversification calls for, right? So that's how you add multiple income streams. So don't go start a new business. Like, for example, you have a job. What do you do in your job? Who are you in your job? How can you take that skill and serve it outside your job? Because you know what? Having a job, you're still a business owner. You just have one customer, your employer. Okay? So how about you get some other customers by taking that skill and putting it out? You know how I was able to exit my job? Because I'd taken my accounting skill and I had started doing lending, using the same knowledge of finance and helping people get loans. So how can you take what you already have and serve it differently? Now, the last two, investing. The last two is investing. We're going to investing, and then we'll have one more. Can I submit to you, how many of you know of a rich auntie? There used to be a rich auntie or a rich uncle, right? When you were growing up, you had a rich auntie, the one who used to come visit you with gifts, all the gifts, And then, these days, what's going on with rich auntie? She's not looking so rich anymore, huh? Why? You know why? Because rich auntie did not invest. Can I submit to you the worst thing that can happen to you is you do this great business. You make these millions. And then, down the road, stuff happens. You could get sick. Economic changes, tariffs, economic changes happen. And now your business is no longer profitable. And let me tell you, if you had not been managing your cash flow and in that thing having set aside for your investing, can I submit to you, you can go from millions to zero? You can go from millions to zero. So even in our businesses, let me tell you, I want you to think about it this way. Your business is for growing wealth. Your business is for growing wealth. And so you have to intentionally pull money out of your business and invest it in stocks, in bonds, in real estate. There are so many things you can invest in, even in other businesses. Like Pauline told us, she invests in other businesses. Maybe I need to bring your proposal, girl, okay? So anyway, but intentionally investing is critical for all business owners. The last thing I want to share with you is an exit strategy. Right now, we are in Easter. Can I submit to you, Jesus had an exit strategy? Jesus had an exit strategy. He completely understood how he was going to live and how he was going to establish his kingdom. Do you have an exit strategy? I worked for the ultra-wealthy, and they don't do nothing without an exit strategy. They don't invest in anything without knowing how they're getting out. They don't invest in any business without knowing how am I going to exit. And their exits are intended to be profitable. So your exit should take you to the next level. Your exit should take you to the next level. So I'm going to ask you, how are you going to exit the business you are in? How are you going to exit the job you are in? How are you exiting? Because if you don't have an exit strategy, let me tell you how unfortunately, what happens to our African businesses. They die. They just die. You know that's true. You sell a few assets here and there. Sorry. End of story. I'm Kenyan. I'm Kenyan. But can I submit to you that your business is a source of wealth? Your business should give you the money for your retirement. You have a $5 million business, you should know how to exit out of it so that you know what? That you're making multiples of that revenue. You are saying, you know what? I have an EBITDA of 5 million or 3 million, and I want 10 million for my business. But can I submit to you, you can't have that kind of exit if you don't have the other systems I talked about. If you don't have forecasting, if you don't have budgeting, if you don't have accounting, if you don't have multiple income streams, you are not exiting. So, if you have a business today, the question is, how are you going to exit? Thank you very much. I'm really honored.
Thank you. Wow, let's give another clap. Question. Some people have a few questions, just one. Who has a question? It's burning. By the way, she's one of those high net worth people that I was telling you about. She's very humble. Who has a question? Going once? What does EBITDA mean? Do I see a hand somewhere? Okay. Mic runners?
Did I bamboozle you? No, you are bamboozled? No? So ask a question.
Let's bring a microphone.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Put my information. Yes, put my information. I forgot.
Testing. Okay. Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Your name, your city, your national ID card, everything that you got with your life. Just let us know what's going on. How much you got in your account, because that's a CPA right there, Yeah, you might just get this one chance.
Can
Perfect.
I get my contact
Hello,
back?
everyone. My name is Latavia Taylor. I am a resident in Dallas, Lake Highlands area.
Come on, when she says Dallas, you clap hard. Come on. Hey.
And I actually talked to you for a little bit after the earlier presentation, and I presented myself to you because I'm, first of all, a woman of God, but I'm also in kingdom ministry and business. And this is God ordained for me because I've been praying and telling God I need help, I need resources, I need connections, I need collaboration because I'm doing it all by myself. So my question is for you, because you were also at the Akata event that I was at. I'm having a hard time feeling like I don't have the right people in my circle, which is also evident, as it was stated earlier. But where could I, as a small business owner, find the resources that I need besides like fundraising and things like that? I missed the presentation. I apologize. I was running back late, so I'm not sure what you exactly talked about, but I know you are about money and business. So
Yes, I am definitely about money. So in terms of getting funding, if you have been in business for at least a year or 2 years, you probably can go to the SBA, or you know what, scan my code over here. This will bring you to my calendar. This, if you scan me, it will take you to my calendar. If you have a question, I give a 20-minute free consult. You have a question, you have, you need help establishing financial systems in your business, or you're paying too much in taxes. I'm the tax strategist. They call me the tax whisperer. And so if you need to contact, you're welcome to contact me. But the Small Business Administration does give loans. Now, obviously, it's going through some adjustments right now. And there are some, if you dig around, there are grants, but you gotta kind of really dig for them. But SBA is one of the best places. So SBA.org is a good place to connect to. Especially because they're still funding for businesses, but they want to see your income statement, your tax return. And let me say something about that I didn't say in terms of cash flow, because I was speaking from my head and not from the PowerPoint. Okay. Now, as we move into spaces of recession or shrinkage of the economy, you may need funding for those fixed costs. And let me tell you something, the best time to get funding is now. You don't go looking for funding when you're strapped for cash. Nobody will give it to you. So when your business is healthy, that's when you get a loan. Because what do lenders want to see? Lenders are going to say, let me see your financial statement. Let me see your bank statements. What are they looking for? Do you have the cash to pay us back? So if you don't have cash for your business, do you have cash to pay them back? No. So if you need money, that's why you need to forecast. And if you need cash for growth, now is the time. Now is the time to get the loan. Now is the time to talk to these investors here so that they can invest in your business. All right? Okay. So
just one more question here. I have my professor, doctor himself, Julius Sonko here.
Well, thank you. Wonderful presentation. I have two questions for you. Behind your name, we see a lot of qualifications, MBA, CPA, CFP, maybe some more. Somebody may be wondering, without those qualifications, can I even be able to get anywhere? So encourage somebody, which I believe could be a majority, without those kind of qualifications, how they can be able to get a start on the business and be ahead and be where we all want to see them. Number two, you talked about profit and cash flow. You say that profit is not cash. Well, I've seen people, they look at the profit and say, man, what is wrong with me? I see a big profit, but I don't have any cash. Can you clarify on that for me? Thank you.
Absolutely. Can I submit to you the number one reason business owners can't see cash is because they pull it out of the business. That's my experience. The number one problem with business owners, because if you don't keep books, you don't know how much cash really belongs to you. Because what belongs to you is profit, right? Because the rest of the money is supposed to go to business expenses and stuff like that. So when you don't, if you're not keeping books, then you don't know what belongs to you. So that's a big part of the problem, all right? So you need to keep books. So profit is not cash because there are what is considered in calculating profit may be items taking cash out of your business. For example, if you have an asset that you have a loan for, you have a truck, you have equipment, think about equipment. So you have a loan. You see, in the determination of profit, the repayment of loan is not considered. Therefore, the loan is affecting your cash flow, but it is not but your profit is higher because you're paying off a loan, right? So those are some of the elements, but your best friend, especially if you're going to grow a serious business, is having a CPA or an accountant who can explain these things to you. You need to review your financial statements with your accountant every quarter in the worst case scenario. You should be looking at a profit and loss statement every month, right? So that you need those financial systems to be able to grow businesses and to stay profitable and to stay ahead of the curve. Now, the other thing about credentials. Now, this is what I say. Now, I went to school in the United States, and I knew immediately that if you're going to be a successful accountant, you need to be a CPA. So if you're here and you're an accountant, go get that CPA. It's much easier now than when I did it. We used to do 4 papers, 2 days. If you didn't pass, you repeated. But thank God, I was a smart girl. I passed the first time. But, but this is the thing. Sometimes you need credentials because credentials sometimes open doors, right? So you need to decipher between where do you need credentials and where do you not need credentials, and that is wisdom, all right? Now, but I'll tell you, you don't need a credential to do business. You don't need a credential to do business. Most businesses don't require. What is business? Business is knowing what to sell, whether it's a product or a service, right? And most of these things don't need credentials. So you should not sit back and say, I can't do business. I am in the business of accounting because I am trained as an accountant, right? But you don't necessarily have to be credentialed. Now, you may not want to do accounting because you're not trained, but there's so many other businesses you can do. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.